my review of Star Wars Rebels Season 3, Episode 20 and 21, Zero Hour, Season Finale. So, if for those who watched my prediction video earlier today, you'll know, and you've seen the episode, you'll know that I did make some incorrect predictions. I had expected there to be, some characters not surviving, but more characters survived than I anticipated. I expected somebody to die, but no, that was not the case. I really expected Agent Callis to die in this episode, but he doesn't, which is kind of interesting, but that tells me they got some more story arc for him coming. A lot of the stuff. Like I'm really lot of I was kind of right that they would destroy at least once Imperial Star Destroyer, but wrong. I was right an Imperial ship would be destroyed. I was wrong on the type. I In case you haven't figured it out, this review full of spoilers. But anyhow, I had predicted Star Destroyer to be destroyed. No, it was two interdictor cruisers. But I was right how one was destroyed by a suicide run by a rebel ship. Yeah. And I was right that the rebels would not win this battle, but they did barely escape, and there were a lot of unnamed rebel deaths like I predicted. And I was right by Thrawn surviving, though still what will become of him, I'm not sure. We don't know that yet. We'll probably find out. If he's not in Season 4, we're gonna find out. It might be revealed in the book Thrawn, by Timothy Zahn, who originally created the character. But I was also right about the rubber base being essentially destroyed. What else? Yeah, and my January Season 4 predictions, don't know if they're confirmed or not yet, but yeah. So obviously we're going to see because they mentioned Yavin at the end of this episode, so obviously we're going to see the rubber base there near the end. So it looks like, Phoenix Squadron is combining with General Dodonna's unit. So at the end of Season 1, the Ghost Crew and Phoenix Squadron combined together. Now it seems like Phoenix Squadron and General Dodonna's unit are combining together. Kind of showing some growing rebellion. Now I have a feeling we're going to see, I'm not sure what they're going to do, but I have a feeling, but before I talk about more, let me get back to talking about the episode and not just my predictions of the episode. So whether I was right or wrong. So overall, I did enjoy this episode. It was neat to see Thrawn's technical genius in battle, not just uncovering it. And I was also neat to see some Death Troopers again. We saw them in Rogue One. Like, why didn't we see them till now? Well, it's because they couldn't put them in there till after Rogue One. Because that's how it works, I guess. But yeah, it was neat to see them. It was also neat to see Thrawn try to defeat the Bendu, and really, he lost. Like, the Bendu just disappeared. Kind of interesting. Hopefully we find more out about the Bendu. And we probably will. Well, yeah. Though there was one thing about with Agent Callis when Governor Price ordered the stormtroopers to throw him out the airlock. I was like, okay, he's going down. And then they bring him to the turbolift going in, and there's a smile on his face. I was like, he's going to survive. It's like, it was kind of obvious. So it was not as impactful as if, they just go there, and that's that. We don't even see him until the Ghost Crew finds out about him. That would have been, I think, slightly better. That's really the only thing I would greatly change about this episode. So I think also, though, one other thing I would have had would have been, because Sabine was back in this episode, have her, her see the underneath side of Thrawn's Star Destroyer and comment about that artwork, the artwork on the Crimea. That would have been so neat. I wish they had done that. What else? What else about this episode? There's so much I can say about it, though. What I can say, there's other Star Wars YouTubers will be saying a lot of stuff, so you're going to hear a lot of repeats on people doing everything on it, so kind of can't wait to see what it'll end up being in the end. But if I had to make a few more conclusions about this episode, so it's some more other things I can say about review, some. Let's say I already told you two of my nitpicks. Sorry, sorry. Okay, the fact that Sabine did not see underneath the economy, and that's a very small nitpick. But how they handled Agent Carter's survival, that was it. I wish they, open order him to be thrown out the airlock, and that's the last we hear of him until the ghost crew picks him up. That would have been much better, and then it would have been a bigger surprise. Because the moment as I said, the moment the stormtroopers brought Agent Callus to the airlock and I saw that smile on Agent Callus's face, I knew he was going to survive. If they had, no, we just see him leaving the bridge with the stormtroopers, we probably would have assumed he would have died. And then we find out he's alive, and that would have been a much bigger shock. Sure, it's kind of nice to predict that, but kind of when you're expecting somebody big to die, you kind of want their survival to be a shocker, and not like when you see the when you see him leaving, when you see him like, oh, he's going, you see a point where you know he's going to survive. That's about the biggest nitpick I have on this episode, and so yeah. I also would have thought it would be neat if the Mandalorians not only instead of trying, they go inside the interdictor the Mandalorians and Ezra, they go in and capture the interdictor for the rebels. Because imagine how easy that would make some hit-and-run attacks. You just know where the Imperial convoy is, you get them out, you destroy them, and then you leave. That would have been so neat for them to have they lost a big ship. They lost their carrier in this episode. It would have been neat if they replaced it with with an interdictor cruiser. And I think they probably could have actually taken the interdictor cruiser, especially if they made their way to the bridge, and that would have been so neat. They could have essentially prevented the Imperial's own escape too at the same time or something. But yeah, that maybe was my second nitpick, but not as bad as the way they handled the Agent Council survival. But on to a bunch of the stuff I like, which I alluded to some of them earlier in this review, but other things I liked about this episode was the appearance of the Death Troopers, though they were not nearly as intimidating in here as they were in Rogue One, but in Rogue One they actually had more of a chance to see combat than in this episode. Sure, they were there, they had the chance, but a big powerful force entity came along and messed it up for them. Which is kind of a good thing, because the Death Troopers being as skilled as they were as they were fighting in the show that's marketed toward the younger kids, that could have been not so great. But anyhow, some other things about this episode I really liked. I really liked how Agent Callus was using where Ezra lived when he was on the saw that old communication tower as his place to transmit his fulcrum messages. I thought that was neat and a nice little callback. Though I do wonder how Thrawn knew to head there at that time to intersect Agent Callus, but I'm pretty sure he was keeping an eye on Agent Callus for a while. So I think he was pretty well aware of Callus's movements, so pretty much knew when to go. I bet when in that early scene when Thrawn was telling Governor Price and Admiral Constantine that basically now is the time to fight with Grand Moff Tarkin, I think Thrawn perfectly knew that Agent Callus was listening in on them. I feel like that's something he would have known. And probably the rebels would have had a bigger defeat if it wasn't for the Bendu, which is something Thrawn couldn't predict for because he didn't know about the Bendu's existence. But now he does. I wonder what he'll do with that knowledge. He'll probably take it directly to Emperor Palpatine, which could be interesting. Interesting. definitely could be interesting. Maybe, and this is kind of off topic from the episode, but inspire. Maybe Snoke is some kind of entity like the Bendu, but instead of being dedicated to the middle, he's dedicated to the dark side. Something like that, or even the Bendu. I don't think Snoke is Bendu, but that would be a very big plot twist. More likely, Snoke is an entity similar enough to the Bendu, similar, kind of same kind of Force user, but a more of a Force entity rather than a being who uses the Force. Just because I don't know why, just maybe, it's probably way out there. Way out there. But no, I did say earlier when my prediction's wrong that if I predicted would die, that none of them didn't die. But Admiral Constantine died when he was on the interdictor cruiser that was rammed by Commander Sato, who also died. Those were actually the two biggest deaths. There was some pretty impressive how two of the crew on the carrier with Commander Sato decided to stay there. And no, he didn't even. He's like, "Good, take your stations." I kind of expected him like, say, "You sure? You sure you don't want to go?" Kind of that before he told them. But I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe he figured. Maybe in his head he was like, "I could try to argue. I could try to argue with them, but I probably won't get anywhere, so I'll just set them." Probably that kind of mentality. But yeah. For a kid's show, this episode did have some dark moments, and I think that suicide run by Commander Sato was one of them. Okay. So that I'm going to leave my review at this, and I'm actually going to leave you with 2 questions today. Sometimes I don't know how many questions. Sorry. I've been talking for a while now. Okay, anyhow, so I don't know how many questions I leave with you, but I'm going to leave you today with 2 distinct questions. 1, what did you think of the episode? And 2, do you have any specific questions you want to ask me about this episode? My thoughts on this episode. Specific questions that I can answer in a later video. I would love for you to do that. So, leave down in the comments down below the answers to the 2 questions. What did you think of this episode? And what questions do you want me to answer about my opinion about this episode? May the force be with you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment down below. Subscribe to my channel for future content. Check out my other channels, Johnson Berry, the Art and History channel, and John Berry Gaming. Check me out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Support me on Patreon, and check out my website. Links are in the description down below. Have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. Have a good one.